Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Dreamers Game 1, where we are playing Yomi. This is turn 45. Okay, so right off the top, we have completed Enchantment 5. We're going to do a little run up Conjuration 5, and then maybe decide to go some other places. So, Conjuration 5, or Enchantment 5, rather. Done. And then we have done a reanimation. We did a Voice of Absu, found nothing. Sight searched in Grey Mountains, found nothing. Got 7 Blood Slaves in Ghent, so nothing really going on there. We've got some battles, so we have been attacked in Mysia. Okay, so Hinnom continues the push towards our capital, it looks like. Not very many deviations from what they had set previously here. Mysia has a very small amount of PD, so nothing really doing there. Easy. And cool. Alright, so nothing there. We have followed in behind Hinnom, taking Flemistan. There's that. And this is pretty important, right? We are risking, Hinnom could just stop, right, and catch out one of these groups, but we want to make sure that we take all of the land that Hinnom touches immediately, so that we have better movement options against Hinnom. So keep that in mind, okay? Even though we are potentially risking things, we want to make sure we guarantee we always have better movement options than Hinnom does. We attack some indies in Sulfuria. Okay, and this is a group of Bakemono Show with clubs. Flag here. Here we go. Getting a little lag. What's up with that? So there are actually a fair number of indies here. They are militiamen. So we should do okay against them. If only because we have 4 attacks per square, but we do risk being enveloped. So let's see how things go. Okay, we are kind of getting enveloped on the north side a little bit. And a lot of militiamen. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Why are those two not routing? Oh no. Matter, I think we're getting off the field before even these guys over here. I don't know why these two aren't routing. I guess maybe they're Oof. Alright, that's unfortunate. We killed 15, they killed 13, 14. And then both sides rout, and basically both sides die, because there's nowhere for us to retreat to, there's nowhere for them to retreat to. So, unfortunate. That's a loss. We get hit in Great Mountains. Counter raid from Hinnom. Not risking a Melkart this time. That's good to know. Just some Rephites with a Blesser. So we lose in Great Mountains. We attack in Rolothia with Tokomochi and his crew. Up against, looks like nothing. particular instance, so just some PD, all good. Ah, wow, that guy's fast. Are we slow? Combat speed 11, yeah, we're a little slow. Okay, though. Alright, so we win in Relothia, and we attack in Menace. Menace is another cluster of Bakemono Sho, up against just a single PD. Let's see if anything bad happens. Kills that guy immediately, and routes. Alright, so we win. And then we get to witness a battle between Lanka and Agartha, and this is at the throne. So Lanka has just some, random long dead, some of the Ganas, the ethereal long dead, which are kind of interesting. A bunch of Rakshasa warriors and a few mages here. And there's nothing from Agartha, so gonna be a foregone conclusion. And that is that. Loses just a few. Easy peasy. Okay, so several battles there. Record of 3 wins and 2 losses versus Hinnom, and then a loss against Indies. So there's that. That real quick. What else do we have going on? We've got a couple of events. Rebirth event in Kodal Swamp. Rebirth event in Relothia. We got some province income in the Below and province income in White Forest, so no real trackable events. So the Below is right here. It's actually not horrible to get some province income there, but the unrest is just going to reduce everything, so it kind of doesn't matter. And then, where was the other one? White Forest? Province. That's pretty nice to get some province income there. That's a pretty good one. Okay, we were discovered. We lost a scout in Ubar, and the walls are critically damaged in Pistina. So, interesting. What are we doing? We continue to raid in the Hinnom lands. Take a look at Lanka. They are continuing their slow press. I have kind of negotiated with them the concept of this space as kind of ours. Eagle Reach being kind of like the crux here. Eagle Reach Troll Woods as being ours. And then everything else being theirs. So that's kind of what we're partitioning out at the moment. Seems to be going well. Hinnom seems to be putting together large stacks of Long Dead. So we'll see how that turns out. We are going to continue to sneak around and raid here or there. We're going to go pop into Cormark. I think this is potentially dangerous, but I kind of want to get Tokimochi over towards the eastern side, so maybe we can threaten Jibero or something like that, or just get him out of, this hellhole. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, we are sending Kotaro into Shambolic to see if we can maybe pop something, and we're sneaking more raiders into Hinnom lands. We are following up on Hinnom's current positioning with our big army. So, Army in Iron Caverns goes into Mysia. My assumption is going to be that he's just going to march straight onto Yomi. I do not know that that is the case, but that's the assumption. He could go elsewhere. Again, continue just like raiding around in our territory, causing population loss and causing, unrest by us following him around. But I think just in conversations that I've had with Hinnom and the way that things have been going, my assumption is that he's gonna go straight for Yomi. So we're gonna have to follow him into that situation. He will break the fort in a single turn. Nothing we can really do about that. Is what it is. So, aside from that, there's not really a lot of movement that we've been doing. I am moving people out of Kodal Swamp, either into Mysia in response, or up to Ghent to, keep these long dead alive, because I don't want to lose all of them. But other than that, mostly not doing anything. We are reinforcing Pastena with a Onishugo, just cuz. And that's mostly it as far as like realistic movements or issues or anything like that go. We don't have a crazy amount of money this turn, so just a couple Naminaris and things like that around and about, along with the Dione. This Dione I probably should have canceled, but I did put it up there anyways. So it is what it is. A couple of rituals that we are doing this turn. We continue to do a Voice of Apsu. We are doing 1 Arcane Probing this turn. And in our capital, very specifically, we're doing 2 Hanya packs. So, boom, that's 2 Hanya packs. And we'll talk about that real quick for a second. So, basically what I'm doing here is we just hit Enchantment 5. Enchantment 5 gives us access to Horde of Skeletons. Hanyas, or Chunaris rather, are pretty decent Horde of Skeleton casters. So having 2 more in addition to the 2 that we already have there is a way to help kind of flood our gates. So one of the things that we could do is we could try to allow Hinam to attack us in Yomi and just flood the gates with various chaff, do a bunch of like air elementals in the background or things like that, and go from there. We have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Horde of Skeleton casters, and some of these are very, very good Horde of Skeleton casters that we could very easily like choke a gap in the wall, right, the gates, with Horde of Skeletons without much of an issue. We don't have what am I thinking? We don't have Rigor Mortis, which would be the next thing that I would want, right? Like, Rigor Mortis, get a bunch of skeletons out on the field, and then, you know, like, the Rephites are very strong, but if they're exhausted, they can't do anything, right? So they will eventually get whittled down by the undead. So what you do is you do like 2 or 3 turns of Horde of Skeleton casting, and then you have 1 person at the end do a Rigor Mortis. Everyone on our side is fatigued out except for the skeletons. Everyone on their side gets fatigued out pretty quickly. Blah, 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 right? So that is an option, but I don't think we'll need to go that route. I think we'll just, you know, fight them in an actual battle. But in case we lose that battle and they, you know, storm the fort, right, this is another way for us to potentially win that. So again, we don't have the Rigor Mortis part of that plan, but the Horde of Skeletons part of the plan is still relatively useful. They don't have regeneration. The Rephites don't have regeneration, so they are vulnerable to getting chipped down slowly but surely, right? Not super vulnerable to that because they have a shit ton of HP, but it is something that they have an issue with. And, right, they're large, so they are only going to have 1 square when they're stuck in that gate, right? So just something to consider. This is not something that we have to do, I think, but just something that we can do. We also have access to Twiceborn if we feel like we've got to toss them or something like that, so that is that. Aside from that, we are doing quite a bit of forging this turn. Again, it is just easier for me to call out all the forging rather than going to each and every single one. We're also doing a summon Shikome. I missed that. My bad. So we're summoning some Shikome and Yomi. Whoops. Put that. So we're doing a lot of forging. We are doing 2 Lightless Lanterns, 1 Evening Star, I'll talk about that here in a second, 1 Winged Shoes, 1 Girdle of Might, 1 Scutata Volturnus, 1 Ring of Regeneration, and 2 Boots of the Messenger. So quite a bit of forging, just to, again, finish out gear sets and things like that, or create gear sets, basically, I guess, rather than finish them out. So let's talk about the Evening Star. I think that's the only kind of like unique one. We've done Scutata Volturnus before. Scutata Volturnus is a really good item. So here's an Evening Star, right? It is a single-handed flail option, not to be confused with the Holy Scourge, which I confuse it with all the time, because it looks exactly the same. The Evening Star is a decent little hit. Has a fire burst damage, and it also has a weakness effect. So this is a higher damage against, or not higher damage, higher attack versus individuals that have shields. I don't know if do Rephites even have shields. Missia Rephites have shields. Therefore, this is going to be a +2 against hitting them. Same thing with Melkarts, right? +2 against hitting them. So that would take something like a Dione into a higher situation that would allow for better chances of hitting. It's not really anything that matters too terribly much, but this is a better like 1v1 weapon, right? Evening Star is a better 1v1 weapon than like Shadowbrand is. So got 6 attack and a +2 versus shield versus Dwarven Hammer's a bad matchup versus 3 attack, right? So total we're gaining 5 attack, right, off of that type of situation. So Dwarven Hammer has 0 attack, so 6 + 2 is going to be 8, so we would be sitting at 24 attack versus like the Melkart's 18 defense. Right, so we got basically like a +6 on the Melkarts, and I think it's like a +9 against the Rephites. I think the Rephites are sitting at 15. Is that correct? Yeah, they're sitting at 15. So basically, the Evening Star is just a much better chance of hitting. And if we hit with the Evening Star, it's not like a guaranteed kill or anything like that. But like 2 hits is pretty much a guaranteed kill, right? 2 hits probably kills pretty easy. And that's even without the fire burst. The weakness, by the way, also it can help as a dueling weapon because the weakness can help prevent like a Melkart versus Dione, right? Like if you're hitting the Melkart with weakness, they are therefore hitting you for less damage potentially, right? So it is what it is. Anyways. So that's what we're doing as far as Fortune goes. And I think everything else is honestly kind of whatever. We are free of having to send Ubar money. Ubar is fighting for their lives against Helheim. Helheim is raiding the shit out of them and has won a major victory. But Ubar has really powerful counter raiders, so they're doing a good job keeping themselves alive. I think at this point, there's only one thing really to talk about. After that battle specifically, after Ubar's loss to Helheim in Wesh, which was what, that was 2 turns ago, or was that 1 turn ago? After that battle, there were a lot of discussions that happened. Ubar has contacted me, and several other players have contacted me saying, hey, this is potentially becoming a big problem, right? You need to come into the war against Helheim. And I am not opposed to that concept, right? Like, attacking into Fomoriya does make sense, right? They're good lands, they are easily accessed to me, unlike the Hinnom lands, etc., right? So this is not I'm not against this idea. I'm somewhat concerned because I do believe I'm pretty far behind as far as like research and infrastructure goes. It just is what it is. And I think fighting Helheim head-on is a death sentence for me. Fighting Helheim while Helheim is occupied by, 4 or 5 other... Not 4 or 5. That's so many. Like 2 or 3 other individuals, right? Like, that's absolutely doable. But the issue is I can't fight Hinnom and I can't fight Helheim at the same time. I have reached out to Hinnom about ending this war, saying, hey, look, I am willing to end the war and go back to pre-war borders. This would allow you to... and actually, I say that this is probably like 2 turns after, because again, like, this happened right after Wesh, so I'm a little late on conveying this, because I wanted to confirm things. But so, right, I said this will allow you, right, to not have to worry about me anymore. You can turn your attention to defending your Garthan lands from Lanka, and you can go from there, right? Hinnom demanded certain concessions. Fuck. Certain concessions that I was unable and unwilling to... My god, my day is happening so badly. I'll be right back. Knocked over drink. Hinnom, they wanted money, and they wanted lands, not just pre-war borders, but actually, like, they wanted like 2 or 3 provinces kind of sneaking into our Ulmish territories, right? And here's the thing, like, I am not, and I tried to make this clear to Hinnom during this discussion, like, I was not offering peace out of any sort of fear for my safety, right? Like, I was offering peace because multiple people at that point in time were asking me, hey, can you get involved in this war against Helheim, right? And I do think that, honestly, Helheim is probably the biggest threat right now. My war with Hinnom is just a random one-off that, like, you know how we got here, right? We were supposed to get here with multiple people involved, and now we're just kind of, like, duking it out in a weird situation. So, like, I was more than willing to go back to that type of situation. Hinnom wanted to kind of... they didn't do it in an impolite way, right? Like, so just for clarity there. But they wanted to kind of, like, extort me on the situation. I was like, nah. So, rather than potentially peace out of this war with Hinnom and join the war with Helheim, we are basically fully dedicated to sticking it out in the war with Hinnom. So that is how that developed. A couple and right, like, I wanted to talk about it because a couple of people who are watching are kind of aware of this thing that had been going on in the background for a couple turns. But this is basically the point at which I have notated where I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is definitely not going to happen now. Probably definitely not going to happen like 2 or 3 turns ago, but now it's definitely not going to happen. So, moving forward, Hinnom, the world, right, is very concerned about Helheim. But I only have eyes for Hinnom, because that is where my hand has been forced. So, we're going to track this army through our lands. We are eventually going to catch it because he's either going to stand still to try to take something, stand still to try to fight us, right? Or we're going to anticipate a movement and we're gonna catch him out. And then we're gonna go kill his lands. In the meantime, we're just gonna keep raiding the shit out of him. Research-wise, I did want to touch base on this. We will be done with Conjuration 5 this turn. Conjuration 5 is actually somewhat important for us. It does get us access to Daitengu, which is somewhat nice. And it gets us access to large or regular-sized elementals, primarily fire elementals. We also get Contact Nushi, though that's going to be very difficult for us to cast. Earth elementals are also somewhat useful in the right situations, etc., etc. So, pretty cool. Howl can be nice. We can actually boost up to that with a small lizard shaman communion, right? 3 lizard shamans, like 1 with a thistle mace, 2 communion slaves, 1 communion master. Boom, we got a howl. So, easy peasy. So that can be useful. After that, though, we are going to run up Alteration, specifically because we are going to go for Alt 6 for End of Weakness. And we can get access to a couple of other things along the way, but really we're not getting anything too crazy. Invulnerability can be somewhat useful on the occasion. Drain Life can be very useful on the occasion, but really we're going for End of Weakness, and that's about it. So Soul Vortex on our Diones will be pretty nice too, but yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I kind of yammered on. Sorry I had an accident in the middle of that, so thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.